last match of Group A in the first round fixtures. Obviously, they play each other. They play 6 matches, not 3. They play each other twice, once home, once away. So this is the ending of the first fixtures, and it's Celtic against Spurs at the East Point Arena in Scotland. Sure, it will be a good match as we start once again with the Celtic lineup, which is coming in momentarily. But there has been a couple of changes to it. Starting goal today for Celtic is Lee Bolton. Once again, with Jeremy Clarkson on the left, Paul Williams in the middle, with Jacksepticeye and Jack Sparrow on that right side, and Patrick Bateman starts on the left with Van Gogh and Elizabeth II holding midfield, as well as El on the right. And up top is The Weeknd, and Mr. Hussein replaces Shaggy in this squad to the start of this match. That is an interesting changes in the Celtic side. As we go on to the Spurs lineup, it is Henry VIII starting in goal once again, as well as Boris Johnson and William the Conqueror at the back. Martin Luther and Robespierre further up the pitch, as well as Churchill holding that centre of the pitch. So as Alexander the Great and Einstein further up, as well as this front three, the amazing front three. Wait, what the fuck is that? There has been some changes to the front three for Spurs. Napoleon still remains on the left, but for some reason they've decided to replace Caesar with Richard III for this match, as well as put Alexander Fleming on the right in place of Hitler. Some weird changes to the Spurs lineup, considering that they do need a win here, considering that draw against Newcastle 4-4 at home. But The Weeknd here immediately past William the Conqueror. Immediately past William. Good challenge by William in the end. He's got there eventually. And it's going to be the first corner of the match already in the way of Celtic. It's some interesting changes to Spurs lineup. It's going to be, it looks like Patrick Bateman awaiting the ball here from Al, and does get the pass. Here's Patrick Bateman, his first touch of the match. Jacksepticeye here. An interesting person to see in the box. L here against William the Conqueror in this battle. Patrick Bateman's in here. It's Mr. Hussein! 1-0! Mr. Hussein scores. What a goal from Mr. Hussein. And that's why they needed him in this team. I've no idea why he's been left on the bench for the first 2 matches. This is what he brings to the team. You really need him in these clinical moments. Shaggy, you can't underrate Shaggy, but Mr. Hussein, what he brings is this just utter excellence, and just sneaks it past Henry VIII in the end. As this group is really starting to shake up if Celtic do go on to win this. But Spurs here starts off again with Robespierre on the ball. Alexander the Great now in possession. Here's Martin Luther. Winston Churchill on this left side. Back to Robespierre. Here's Alexander the Great once again. Can he find Napoleon on the left? No, decides to play into Richard III. Does get challenged, but Robespierre's there to pick up the slack. Now Robespierre to Einstein. Einstein, who can he find? He's tackled by Jeremy Clarkson. Here's Patrick Bateman on the ball once again. Bateman to The Weeknd. Weeknd trying to find the ball over to Mr. Hussein, which does get there. William the Conqueror on him here, and it's a good challenge by William the Conqueror. Is Churchill. Given away by Churchill actually, but he does get a challenge in, but The Weeknd manages to keep the ball. Now back to Elizabeth II. Patrick Bateman. I think that was Elizabeth II's first touch of the game actually. Here's L on this side. Good skill move there. What the hell is happening there? Here's Mr. Hussein. Mr. Hussein again! 2-0! Mr. Hussein this game. He's so clinical. That is the brace. Within the space of, I believe, 25 minutes. Oh my god. It's laid off by Elizabeth II. And there's Mr. Hussein. Goes on his left. Henry VIII couldn't get down quick enough, and he just finds the angle in that left corner. Honestly, Mr. Hussein, the fact that they've brought him back in the team clearly is showing why they need him here. Richard III starting to move here. It's a questionable decision to bring Richard III back onto the pitch. I don't understand why they've added him back into the team. Here's Alexander Fleming, which is the replacement for Hitler this match. Here's Einstein against Jeremy Clarkson. Does get past him. Now it's a ball in, but blocked by Mr. Williams. Tackled by Robespierre. Here's Alexander Fleming. Here's Richard III in the middle. Scores! Richard III scores! Well, I was underrating him, but maybe it's the wrong decision to underrate him. It's a decent move here by Spurs. Alexander Fleming linking up with Richard III. The two changes, the replacement respectively for Hitler and Caesar, linking up. It's a great ball into Richard III from Alexander Fleming. I don't think he could believe it at first. I think it's definitely his first goal in this tournament. It's his first match, so obviously it's his first goal. With Richard III, we have a match on our hands here, 2-1 at the East Point Arena so far, as Elizabeth II is in possession. Here's L against Winston Churchill and someone else there, Martin Luther. Back to L. Napoleon on him actually. Napoleon tracking back. It's a good... No, it's a foul. What the hell just happened? Yeah, it's a foul. Mr. Hussein surprisingly actually taking this free kick. Whips it into Patrick Bateman's there. William the Conqueror trying to defend this and Henry VIII collects. I need to collect that. Here's the throw out. Here's Robespierre. Trying to see what he can put into this game. Einstein. Alexander Fleming's there on the right hand. What is that touch by Alexander Fleming? That was terrible by Fleming. The throw in from Celtic. Mr. Williams. Here's Patrick Bateman into the weekend. Can he find Mr. Hussein? He does find Mr. Hussein against Boris Johnson. Can Boris defend this? The legend does make him run out the ball, I believe. I think this is a Tottenham goal kick. Yeah, and there it is. The half ends. It's the end. No, it's a corner. Here's Patrick Bateman against Einstein. Bateman does win a corner, I believe. No, it's the end of the first half. Again, what is that formation about? Why would you play Mr. Hussein on the left? He's a striker. We fucking Newcastle again. Here we go, opens up. Open up by Spurs. Hitler has been subbed on at half time for Richard III. Questionable putting Hitler in that position, but Hitler does make his move. Robespierre here. Mighty, get past Mr. Williams. It's the final ball. No, couldn't get the final ball, which does mean Williams pass it to Clarkson, which finds Patrick Bateman. What can Patrick Bateman do? Pass it to Mr. Hussein. Back into Van Gogh. Into the weekend. The weekend finds Patrick Bateman. Can he pass to Mr. Hussein maybe to find Mr. Hussein's hat-trick in this match? It's already Mr. Hitler. Why is Hitler all the way down the pitch? He's good tracking back him. William the Conqueror deciding to have a bit of a run out. Here's Albert Einstein on the ball against Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams challenges and Clarkson gets it. Now here's the weekend. Weekend here. Still the weekend against Boris Johnson. Boris with an excellent tackle. Here's Winston Churchill. Now William the Conqueror. Now Robespierre. Now Albert Einstein. Maybe back to Robespierre. Couldn't find the ball, but here's William the Conqueror. He's a bit far at the pitch considering he's a left back, a right back. But William the Conqueror, what's William the Conqueror doing? He's had a dig. Oh, a substitute coming on here. Patrick Bateman coming off for Woody. And two substitutions, Einstein and William the Conqueror coming off. And I believe that was Caesar and, Harold Godwinson. We'll have to see in a minute. Patrick Bateman come off for Woody. And Einstein came off for Caesar for Spurs. And William the Conqueror came off for Christopher Columbus. So Caesar and Christopher Columbus on, and Jacksepticeye is coming off for Mr. Arthur. Here, Jacksepticeye putting a decent display today. I have liked seeing him have a run out here. It's good to see players get a minute. And here is Hitler on the corner, finds maybe Napoleon. Caesar got to get there but doesn't. Here's the Weekend, maybe starting this counter-attack. Fleming got to get to him. It's a good fucking pressure on him there. Here's Christopher Columbus. Here's Hitler. Hitler's in here. Hitler, has he got a pass on? Finds Caesar in the middle. Christopher Columbus! 2-2. Spurs have come back once again. It's a great link-up between the four of them there. It was originally Hitler to Caesar to Christopher Columbus. The three of them then. Oh, it was a good move. Christopher Columbus finishes it off. The goalkeeper couldn't get down. I can't remember who their goalie is. Oh my god. Unbelievable. Who is their goalie? I can't remember. Either way, the Weekend here. Mr. Hussein, after that brace in the first half, he's running, but he's past Boris Johnson. He's past Boris. Mr. Hussein! 3-2. Mr. Hussein gets it back for Celtic. There's the hat-trick from him. The hat-trick by Mr. Hussein. What a run it was. They can't believe it, Spurs. Henry VIII couldn't get to it. It was well out of his reach. The second you saw Mr. Hussein got past Boris Johnson, you knew where he was going. In that top left corner. There's no way Mr. Henry VIII was reaching it. It was well out of his grasp. It was Spurs, they thought they'd brought it back, but no, Mr. Hussein, a brilliant play. Here's Alexander the Great though against Paul Williams. Alexander the Great actually couldn't really do anything there. It's Van Gogh. Yeah, with needs assistance. Here's Mr. Hussein. It's Martin Luther. Finds Woody. Can Woody get across? Passes it back to Mr. Hussein. To Van Gogh. Here's the Weekend! The Weekend wins it. The Weekend wins it for Celtic at the East Point Arena. To end. This is the match to end the first round of matches in Group A, and what matches they have been. They just keep delivering, and the Weekend delivers the win for Celtic, unless Tottenham can have the best and quickest comeback in existence. But no, 4-2 with about 5 minutes to go with extra time. Here's Caesar. Caesar here against Jack Sparrow. Does get past him. Here's Julius Caesar. Julius with a dig! It's a good save by Lee Bolton. How could I forget Mr. Bolton in goal? Bolton, Lee Bolton, good stop. A stop that he didn't really need to make in terms of the actual game, as it would only be 4-3, but still a save that he'd love to make. Here's Hitler on this corner. Maybe he can find Napoleon. For Alexander the Great there. Caesar. Yeah. Is it going back to Hitler? No, it finds Churchill. Here's Churchill. Surely the end of the match now. Here's Hitler. Hitler's in. Hitler tries to go around Jack Sparrow, and what is it? Is it a corner or is it the end of the match? I believe it is a corner. Yes, this is the last corner. I have no idea why Tottenham are bothering. They've lost. But here's Hitler on this corner. Whips one in. Alexander the Great in the middle. It's cleared. Surely this is the end now. Yep, and the referee blows a 4-2 win for Celtic against Tottenham. And of course, it's Mr. Hussein who claims the match ball. 3 attempts, 3 goals. A great performance in the end by Mr. Hussein. Tottenham thought the comeback was on, but it was ended, slain by Mr. Hussein and the Weekend in the end. Celtic wins it. What a performance Mr. Hussein put in that match. And in the end, Spurs did end up having more possession. Again, I have no idea why Richard III was brought in place of Caesar. sure, he got his goal, but I don't know why they bothered bringing him in, as well as fucking Alexander Fleming in that right wing position instead of Hitler. No idea why they decided to make those changes, considering how good Hitler and Caesar had been in the previous performances. In terms of Patrick Bateman, I think he had a decent enough performance for what fucking does he play for Celtic? Again, it was a decent performance from everyone. Jacksepticeye as well did his job. The weekend didn't really provide much except from the goal and the assist, but you know, you got to put a shift in, and that's what he did.